held a high social status. And second, he was wealthy, meaning he possessed considerable wealth. And third, he was of short stature, which we describe as having a possible complex earlier. It was written that Zacchaeus wanted to see what kind of person Jesus was. Zacchaeus was interested in Jesus. Why do you think he was interested in Jesus?
Jesus was popular at the time.
Yeah, maybe that's true also.
And maybe he's taller than Zacchaeus.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe handsome.
Yeah.
He wants to collect the tax. Yeah.
You know, the man who wrote the first book of New Testament, the Gospel of Matthew, was also originally a tax collector, just like Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, on the other hand, was the top tax collector in charge of all the tax collectors. Therefore, it's possible that Zacchaeus knew about Matthew, who used to be a tax collector like them. But perhaps he had heard the story that Matthew, a tax collector like themselves, had become a disciple of Jesus. And maybe initially he became interested in Jesus because he heard that there was a religious teacher who had taken one of their own, Matthew, as a disciple. The tax collectors were perceived and disliked as traitors by the Jewish people of that time. They were collecting taxes from fellow Jews who saw them as collaborators with the pagan Roman emperor. They might have seen scorn as those who had become servants of Rome. Alternatively, since their profession guaranteed a steady income, they could have been seen as individuals solely focused on amassing wealth. And due to these negative perceptions held by many, tax collectors were labeled as sinners, even in the eyes of God, by the Jewish community. So, one of these tax collectors was Matthew, and Jesus chose him to be one of his closest disciples. I think this was considered blasphemy to the Jewish leaders of the time. They might have thought that the teacher like Jesus, who would take such a sinful tax collector as disciple, was not a respectable teacher at all. Furthermore, it must have been a surprise for Matthew's fellow tax collectors. They were labeled as sinners themselves, and now they saw one of their own being chosen as a disciple of Jesus, a religious teacher. This would have undoubtedly raised question and curiosity among them. This might be why Zacchaeus also had an interest in meeting Jesus and having a conversation with him. Furthermore, the town of Jericho, where Zacchaeus lived, was a significant transportation hub. Many people from different regions would stop there during their travels. They would exchange information about what was currently trending in their regions or talk about the great teachers in their towns. Jericho served as a hub for spreading various pieces of information. Unlike today, with television and radio and internet, in those times, people largely relied on information shared by travelers as their primary source of news. It's possible that among the stories these travelers shared, there might have been tales of a religious teacher named Jesus from Nazareth, who was known for telling remarkable and unheard of stories. While we can't be certain, Zacchaeus might have heard about Jesus through these sources and developed a strong desire to meet him. At that moment, Zacchaeus had the opportunity to meet Jesus. Information had reached him that Jesus was coming to his town, Jericho. However, there was one problem. Zacchaeus was short in stature. So when he entered the crowd, the people in front obstructed his view, making it impossible for him to see Jesus. Therefore, he decided to get ahead of the crowd and climb the tree, waiting for Jesus to arrive. This way, he thought he could see Jesus with his own eyes as he passed by. By doing this, Zacchaeus caught the attention of Jesus, who called out to him. From reading the Bible, it appears that tax collectors were viewed as extremely wicked individuals by the Jews of that time. However, I pondered about how the tax collectors themselves might have perceived their own actions. I wondered if they were truly people who only thought about making money. Perhaps some of them had different motives beyond just accumulating wealth, I thought. For example, when you become a tax collector, you are responsible for gathering taxes from people, right? There might have been some discretion in how much tax you could collect. In reality, many tax collectors were accused of collecting excessive taxes from certain individuals. Such actions might have been tolerated to some extent. In essence, there might have been some degree of freedom and discretion allowed in the collection of taxes. This also makes you wonder if there was some freedom in deciding how to use the collected taxes. This is just my imagination, though. In modern times, collected taxes are often used to help the elderly and those in need. Similarly, I imagine that in those times, some taxes were used for the public good. Therefore, a tax collector may have wanted to help the poor with a large amount of tax he collected from the rich. I think there may have been people who chose to work as tax collectors because they had such admirable intentions and dreams of helping the poor. Perhaps Zacchaeus initially chose to work as a tax collector to help the poor, which is why he told Jesus that from now on he would give half of his wealth to the poor. Although Zacchaeus chose to work as a tax collector with such good intentions, the people around him told him, "Oh, he is an agent of Rome, the enemy of the Jews. He is taking money from us so that he can become rich. Oh, he is a sinner who won't be forgiven even by God." He was repeatedly subjected to such severe criticism and branded as a sinner by his fellow Jewish citizens. It's possible that as he continued to face such negative remarks from his fellow Jews, he gradually developed feelings of resentment or bitterness. However, Zacchaeus had heard rumors about Jesus. Even though Jesus himself was poor, he had mercy and cared for the poor. Maybe in hearing these stories, he recalled the initial desire he had when he first became a tax collector, the desire to help the poor. He might have remembered that he chose to become a tax collector originally for this purpose, to assist his less fortunate fellow citizens. As time goes by, people often forget their original intentions. They can be influenced by criticism and hurtful words, leading to negative feelings. However, Jesus believes in our pure, original intentions forever. Ordinary people might not take it seriously if someone who labeled as a sinner suddenly says, "I'll give half of my possessions to the poor, and for those I've cheated, I'll repay 4 times." People might say, "Oh, you don't have to go that far. Your intention is enough. You can't really do that." But Jesus accepted Zacchaeus' seemingly exaggerated determination and genuinely believed in it. He joyfully declared, "Today, salvation has come to this house." And he also said, "This man is a son of Abraham," meaning he is a genuine Jew. In other words, Jesus told Zacchaeus and his family that you are part of God's family. The Bible doesn't say whether Zacchaeus actually gave half of his wealth to the poor or repaid 4 times to those he cheated after this story. But I believe he likely did what he said. People tend to stick to their words, whether it's bluffering or boasting. Children who are constantly told by their parents they are foolish or they are, dumb or stupid, can grow up to be foolish. Right? And while those praised as good kids can become genuinely good people. In other words, people can change based on how they are perceived and believed. Zacchaeus must have felt, "Oh, Jesus believes in my determination." That's why I think he surely did what Jesus believed he would. Through Jesus' faith, Zacchaeus started a completely different way of life. About a decade ago, there was a TV drama in Japan called Rookies. Have you ever seen this drama? No? It's not there.
My husband. I saw him watching that.
Oh, you saw it? Oh, your husband?
I saw him watching that.
Oh, really? Yeah, this drama is very nice
I
drama.
just saw a little clip.
Okay. Yeah, it was about a decade ago, and it became a movie too. And when the movie was released, they were promoting, the TV was promoting this movie. And they were also running the drama, rerunning the old drama. I watched it because it was heavily advertised and I got quite into it. I still occasionally watch the recorded episodes. It was originally manga. Manga. It came from manga, and then it became drama, and then finally it became a movie. Okay, so many people know this story in Japan. So this rookie is basically about a teacher named Kawato, who comes to Futago Tamagawa High School. He helps the delinquent baseball club members. You know, this is not a sword. This is a bat. Yeah, baseball bat. You know, so this teacher Kawato helps the delinquent baseball club members who have become troublemakers due to past issues. You know, it's difficult to say, but in the drama, the two teams were playing the baseball match, but one of the pitcher threw a ball to the batter's face, and it started fighting. Sometimes the baseball in U.S. Major League, they
bench clear.
what do you call it?
Bench clear.
Bench clear. Okay, yeah, just like that. They fought each other, and that was the trouble. So the Kawato. This picture has no Kawato. Oh, let's see. Yeah. The center is the teacher Kawato. He tried to help the kids to find hope and recover to pursue the dream of Koshien. Do you know Koshien? It's a prestigious high school baseball tournament in Japan. The Koshien is a なんていうんだっけ、baseball stadium. Yeah, stadium. In this drama, there are lines spoken by teacher Kawato that make you think he's saying things similar to what the Bible teaches. For example, he says things like, if you want someone to like you, start by liking them. Or, if you want others to believe in you, believe in them first. I thought these were similar to the teaching of the Bible. Do to others what you would have them do to you.
Yes.
You know?
Golden rule.
Yeah, golden rule. In the drama, there was a scene like this. Once, near the baseball club room, the principal of the school found a cigarette butt on the ground. At that moment, the former delinquent baseball club members were suspected of smoking. The principal came to the classroom where those baseball club members were and accused them of smoking, pressuring them to confess. When the student said, we didn't smoke, the principal said, then empty your pocket. At that time, teacher Kawato came into the classroom and said, oh, principal, these kids have quit smoking. They used to smoke, but they stopped because they aim for Koshien. So I believe that they are not smoking. He was trying to protect the baseball club members. Then those baseball club members said, we may be hopeless cases, but we'll never betray those who believe in us. And they agreed to a body check. Nobody search. In the end of the story, the baseball club members had no cigarettes. And the other teacher found out that the cigarette butt belonged to a female student. Just as teacher Kawato believed, the former delinquent baseball club members were indeed not smoking. Human beings may truly become what others believe them to be. Jesus genuinely believed in Zacchaeus' determination. In the same way, Jesus believes in us. This confidence Jesus has in us transforms us into people of love and help us grow in love.
Amen.
Even before we become like Jesus, Jesus already believes in us. Jesus says, "You are the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. You are my disciples. You are my beloved children." Jesus believes in us this way. So, with heartfelt gratitude for Jesus' belief in us, let us joyfully strive to follow his way.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.